The EuroLeague playoffs have been some of the best ever. 3 of 4 first round series have gone to a final game and the games have been classics. If you're not watching, you're missing out. We've seen clutch shots from star players, controversial calls, crazy atmospheres and intensity you won't find anywhere else. The regular season was a slaughterhouse. Just one game separated the 2nd and 5th seed. Teams with well above 500 records had to earn their place for the play-in tournament, and 2 teams with 500 records missed out on the postseason. Every single game in EuroLeague matters. There's no load managing, no free wins against tanking teams. That's why they say top to bottom, night in, night out, the EuroLeague is the most competitive basketball league in the world. Shane Larkin and Anadolu Efes, 2-time champions this decade, they didn't make the playoffs. Nikola Mirotic, MVP of the league in 2021, signed with Olimpia Milano, a historically great European club. They didn't make the playoffs. Partizan spent a lot of money, brought in NBA players like Frank Kaminsky, Bruno Caboclo and PJ Dozier. They didn't make the playoffs either. Bayern Munich signed Serge Ibaka, other NBA draft picks Carson Edwards, Isaac Bonga. They finished with a 12-21 record. I say all of that to say there's a lot of great teams that didn't make it, because the teams that did make it are even better. The first series we're going to talk about is 1-seeded Real Madrid versus 8th-seed Baskonia. Now Real Madrid were obviously huge favourites. Not only did they win the title last year, but this season they set the record for most regular season wins. But Baskonia were not to be taken lightly. They have a good team. Marcus Howard is the EuroLeague's leading scorer, averaging 19.5 points per game, and his partner in crime, Cody Miller-McIntyre, is leading the league in assists. Coming into this series, the Basque club had won 4 of their last 7 games against Madrid. These are 2 Spanish clubs. The rivalries between the Basques and Madridistas is bigger than sports. Anything could happen. What did happen was Real Madrid handled business. They won games 1 and 2 comfortably, scoring 90 and 101 points. Real Madrid's leading scorer in game 1 was Musa with 16 points. Of 11 players who played, 10 of them had between 5 and 10 points. Game 2, same story. Madrid had 6 guys scoring in double figures. Campazzo was star of the game. He had 24 points and 7 assists on 7 of 9 shooting. And in the opening 2 games, Marcus Howard struggled. He was held to 15 and 12 points, and if Baskonia were going to cause an upset, they needed him playing at his very best. Game 3 was the most competitive in the series. The game was within 5 points throughout and Baskonia led for parts of the game. Cody Miller-McIntyre had been their best player in this series. He had 17 points, 11 assists and 7 rebounds. Marcus Howard finally came to play. He led all scorers in the game with 29 points. Madrid began to pull away in the 4th, but Howard kept them in the ballgame, hitting big shots down the stretch. He scored Baskonia's first 13 points in the 4th quarter to keep them in it. Miller-McIntyre hit this crazy floater to make it a 1-point game. It went down to the final minute. McIntyre hands it off to Howard. He isolates, guarded by the taller Tavares, who does a great job keeping his hand up and staying in front of Howard, who drives into traffic, has nowhere to go, and turns the ball over at a critical point in the game. But Baskonia got another chance. Hezonja missed the 3 that would seal the deal. Miller-McIntyre in the open court, pushes the pace, tries to get a quick 2, but Tavares is there again. Questionable call from the officials, no block yet no foul. Real Madrid back on offense, ball in Campazzo's hands, MVP of the round. He drives into the lane, clear travel, goes uncalled, he scores, the refs swallow their whistles and Madrid go up 5. Baskonia with 20 seconds left, try to get a 3 with Howard, it's short, loose ball goes Madrid's way, Campazzo is out in transition, he scores, seals the win, and that was all she wrote. Real Madrid showed their class, weathered the storm, and secured their place in the final 4 with a sweep. For Real Madrid, Yabusele was fantastic. He led his team in scoring with 23 points, scoring 7 consecutively in the 4th quarter. Tavares had a double-double, Hezonja had 16, and let's not forget about the legend, Sergio Rodriguez. 37 years old, still producing the goods. He had 9 assists off the bench. Ultimately in this series, the favoured superior team won, and Real Madrid right now are looking very strong and have got to be the favourites to win the title. But in EuroLeague, anything can happen, especially at Final 4 weekend. By the way, EuroLeague Final 4 weekend is this weekend. It's days away, and I've partnered up with the EuroLeague to give away 10 free codes so you guys can watch the Final 4. To enter the giveaway, all you need to do is click the link in the description, join my room on playback, comment in the chat over there when done, and if you don't win it, you can still be involved by clicking the link down below in the description. Head over to tv.euroleague.net and use coupon code DKM15 at checkout for 15% off your Final 4 pass. I promise you it's worth it and you're not going to want to miss the Final 4. The next series we got to talk about is Olympiacos versus Barcelona. Now this was always going to be a classic. You have two giant clubs tied at 22 wins each in the regular season, both desperate to get back to the Final 4 for different reasons. Olympiacos last season were the best team in EuroLeague. They should have won the title and would have if not for a miracle game winner by Sergio Llull.
Ewing working against foul, beats him with the dribble, pulls up at the elbow, high arcing James, good!
Even after losing EuroLeague MVP Sasha Vezenkov, Olympiacos are still in the mix and they want that title back. For Barcelona, they haven't won the EuroLeague in 13 years, since the legendary team that beat Kobe and the Lakers to become world champions. Click the top right of the screen to watch that video. During this time period, Barca have made the Final 4 6 times, and they've had to watch rivals Real Madrid win it 4 times during this time period. Both teams lost their star player this summer, but Barca made some big moves, bringing in former number 2 pick Jabari Parker, Eurobasket MVP Willy Hernan Gomez, future Hall of Famer Ricky Rubio. They also have former top 5 pick Jan Vesely. Olympiacos don't have the marquee names like Barca, but they're well coached with a great system, a lot of depth, and have one of the best home court advantages in the world. In Game 1, they stole a game on the road, 77-75, a close game that went down to the wire. Game 2, Barca needed a win or they'd be in serious trouble, and they tied the series thanks to Jabari Parker. He came all guns blazing. 11 first quarter points to give Barca a double-digit lead early on. Olympiacos started to come back in the third, and with less than 7 minutes to go in the fourth, it was a single possession game. And that's when Jabari stepped up. He hit a huge free from the left corner to put Barca up 5, and a few minutes later, he hit another free ball from the other corner, and that was game. Game 3 was the most important of the series. We can just skip to the fourth quarter in this one, cause that's when all the action happened. Olympiacos had thought they'd won it, 1 point game, just over 2 minutes to go. Barca defend well, and then with milliseconds left on the shot clock, Petrusa throws up a prayer and puts Olympiacos up 4, and that was supposed to be the dagger, but it wasn't. Barca needed a basket. They go to the pick and roll with Satoransky and Vesely. He rises up for a poster and sees his shot swatted into the stands by Moses Wright. Who said EuroLeague players aren't athletic? That is one of the best blocks you'll see anywhere all season. But Barca weren't done yet. Just over a minute to go, down 5. Abrines from the corner hits a massive free to bring the score within 2. Now this is where the controversy kicks in. 16 seconds left. Barca inbound, count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Where's the inbounds?
Clear inbound violation, no call. Labrovitola with nowhere to go weaves around walk up, gets to the hoop, reverses it off the glass and in to tie the game and force overtime. In OT, both teams went blow for blow. On this play, Barca trailing by 3. Satoransky loses control of the ball. It's poked loose. 3 players hit the deck and the refs call a jump ball. From the jump ball, neither player gets a firm hand on the tip. It ricochets Barca's way. Satoransky sprints to the corner and ties it up with a huge free. Olympiacos come down the other way. They have a chance to win it. They miss, which gives Barcelona the final play of the game and a chance to win. This was the most controversial of all. 3.8 seconds left on the shot clock. Ball's inbounded to Jabari Parker, the rookie. Time's running out. He steps into a deep three-pointer for the win, and he's fouled. With 0.5 seconds left, the ref sent Parker to the line. He keeps his cool, makes the free throws, and Barca steal a controversial win on the road, making Game 4 a must-win for Olympiacos. Lose, and their season is over. And after what happened in Game 3, they came out with a point to prove and made a statement. Final score 92-58, a 34-point blowout from the hosts. This game was won in the second quarter. The energy in the arena was incredible. Olympiacos hit 12 of 24 three-pointers, Barca made just 5 all game. But the player of the game was Shaq, who some of you may know from Player's Choice. He led all scorers with 21 points and made great plays all game. Game 5 was set up to be an absolute classic. One of these great teams was going home, while the other heads to Berlin to fight for the title. Unlike the other classics, this was a really cagey, low-scoring game. Both teams were excellent defensively, but couldn't hit a free if their lives depended on it. The three-point shooting in this game was non-existent. At one point, both teams had combined for 3 for 30. In total, Barca were 4 of 26 from 3 and Olympiacos were 6 of 23. But that doesn't mean it wasn't an exciting game. While the game was close, Barca always seemed in control. They won the opening 3 quarters. Let's skip straight to the action. Fourth quarter, score is tied 40-40. For the first half of the fourth, teams traded baskets. Barca had led the entire game, and at home, they should have put them out of reach. But the Greek giants were able to hang in there, keeping it close, and it wasn't until the 5-minute mark where Olympiacos took the lead for the first time in the game.
McKissick looking for the 3, and there it is, Olympiacos in front.
And who else would it be but Shaq McKissick? He was outstanding in this game. 12 points doesn't do it justice. His energy gave his team a spark, and trust me, in a game where nothing was falling, they needed that. Speaking of Shaq, look at this defense from Abrinas to stay in front of him. These two had a little back and forth here. Abrinas does great to force the miss and finish through contact to tie the game with 4 minutes to go. Look at the defense from Barcelona. Rubio is smart enough to poke the ball without fouling. Abrinas dives on the loose ball. Jump ball. Olympiacos win the tip. But how about Ricky Rubio, former NBA steals leader? Almost intercepts not just 1, but 2 passes, and somehow Barca don't get possession. And they're punished because Shaq McKissick in the clutch is fouled on the free ball. He makes it, and it's a 4-point play. It was all for nothing though, because he misses the free throw, giving Barca a chance to try and get a quick 2. The lob is blocked. Olympiacos out in transition, and it's him again, Shaq McKissick, leading Olympiacos to a 12-2 run in the final few minutes of the game. 2 minutes 30 left. Papanikolaou from 3. That should be the dagger as he puts Olympiacos up 7. But this game isn't over. Now at the 2-minute mark, Barca fading out of the game, down 7. Laprovitola bounce pass to Vesely for the dunk, makes it a 5-point game. 90 seconds left, Barca get the stop. Laprovitola in transition gets to the cup and makes it a 1-possession game. Suddenly, Barca are back in the game. 5 quick points, and now with a minute to go, Olympiacos lead by just 3. Final minute now. Walkup misses the step back 3, but Olympiacos get the offensive rebound. They drain more clock. This time McKissick fires. He misses. Barca come down the floor. Laprovitola, the Argentinian, chance to tie, but Shaq McKissick is there again, gets the steal, dives on the ball. Olympiacos retain possession. Barca crazily don't foul. Olympiacos score. Barca fold at home in a game they really should have won. Their EuroLeague season ends, much to the disappointment of Ricky Rubio. He was outstanding in this game. He deserved better in what may be his final game in professional basketball. For Olympiacos, they proved everybody wrong. They're back in the Final 4, and they will have the chance to get their revenge against Real Madrid. The next series we got to talk about is Fenerbahce versus AS Monaco, a historically great club versus a new up-and-coming club. Both teams have their eyes on the Final 4. Fenerbahce have suffered. They've had to watch their rivals win 2 titles in the last 5 seasons. Vasilij Micic is gone, and in order for them to reclaim their spot as the best in the country, they have to make a statement on the continental stage, which they haven't done since 2016. For Monaco, this is a huge season. Last year they made the Final 4 for the first time in franchise history and added former NBA All-Star Kemba Walker to their team. For Mike James, it's a legacy year. He became EuroLeague's all-time leading scorer, he's expected to win MVP, and he hopes to win a championship too. You can watch a full video about Mike James at the top right of your screen. Now this right here, game in, game out, might be the most competitive series. EuroLeague legend Nick Kalafis kept Fenerbahce in this game. He knew it was his night when he beat the buzzer with this one.
It's a hit with that type of space. Kalafis, half-court heave. Oh, and he beats the end of quarter buzzer.
Monaco should have had this one in the bag. At home, up 9 in the 4th quarter. But Fenerbahce did not give up, and back-to-back threes from Tyler Dorsey made this one really interesting.
From downtown, as Tyler Dorsey looking for back-to-back threes, and he connects on consecutive three-pointers to bring his team back to within a single point.
Fast forward to the end of regulation. All-time leading scorer versus all-time steals leader. Offense versus defense. Mike James chance to win the game, misses, giving Fenerbahce a chance to win it. Final possession of the game, 10.9 on the shot clock. Goodrich, the hot hand, sizes up, drives, no good, and to overtime we went, where Fenerbahce, the team who started slow and ended strong, saw it out and won the game away from home. Nick Calafes, 35 years old, one of the greatest point guards in EuroLeague history, proved that age is just a number. 17 points, MVP of the game, and a W. But if you thought game 1 was great, how about game 2? Monaco looked like they're going to go into the half up 10, but Scotty Wilbekin had something to say about that, with not just one, but 2 massive threes to end the half. That was warm-up practice because Fener were going to need big shots later on. Final minute of the game, Monaco lead by 5, about to tie the series. Fener needs something and they need it now. Wilbekin fires from way downtown, keeps them alive, cuts the lead to 2 with just over 30 seconds remaining. Pressure is on Monaco. The inbound is sloppy. They almost turn it over and struggle to get over half court in time. Mike James struggled again. He was 2 of 7 this game, his first this season with single-digit points. He gave up the ball to Jordan Lloyd. He isolates, sizes up his defender and rises up for a free.
And he does! Jordan Lloyd from deep.
Knocks it down and ties the series for Monaco, making game 3 anyone's for the taking. Fenerbahce were ready to defend their home floor. The atmosphere was amazing, and despite a little scare in the 4th quarter, Fenerbahce were able to keep their composure and close the deal. It was a great team performance, 5 Fenerbahce players scoring in double figures. The defense and the 3-point shooting was outstanding. They hit 64% of 36 3-point attempts in this game. And once again, for the 3rd game in a row, Mike James struggles, 11 points on 4 of 15 shooting from the field. This series was getting ugly for him. He's supposed to be the star, the GOAT of scoring, a guy that's supposed to be one of the best ever. For years people have been saying he's overrated and he doesn't get it done when it matters most in the playoffs. And Mike James struggled again, just 10 points on 4 of 14 shooting. But this was a low scoring game. Both teams were giving everything on defense and struggling to put the ball in the hoop. 1 minute 30 left in the game, Monaco lead by 1. Ball in Akobe's hands. Calafes pokes the ball from behind. Goodrich in transition drives to take the lead, and Dante Hall comes out of nowhere, blocks the shot and potentially saves Monaco's season. They come back on offense. Mike James, chance to redeem himself, drains some clock, puts the ball on the floor. Cross, step back, 3-pointer, bang! His moment finally arrived. Is this shot the turning point for him in this series, giving his team a 4-point cushion, silencing the crowd, and forcing a Game 5? This energy, this hostility carried on into Game 5, which, surprise surprise, was another classic. The hosts were the better team in the first half, they were in control, but Fenerbahce were able to stay in the game, thanks to incredible clutch shot making throughout the game. They hit huge difficult shots at the end of the shot clock, like this prayer from Goodrich.
Shot clock in the red, pump fake, somebody's got to pull the trigger. Goodrich does so to beat the shot clock buzzer and drills it.
Another from Scotty Wilbekin at the end of the second.
Down to the baseline and back out to Wilbekin. Wilbekin from the sideline logo, that is a big bucket.
In the 3rd quarter again, Wilbekin, another ridiculous shot at the end of the shot clock. Fenerbahce needed every one of these to go in, because this was a close game and every single point mattered. And with this Nigel Hayes-Davis free, Fenerbahce took the lead. Skipping straight to the 4th quarter action. Final minutes of the 4th, Monaco down 3. It's time for the backcourt to step up. Akobo drives, puts the shoulder into the smaller defender and swishes a high arcing midi to make it a 1-point game. 2:50 left. Kalafis hands it off to Goodrich. He rejects the screen, creates separation with the cross and hits a clutch free ball, and Fenerbahce lead by 4. They get a stop, come back on offense, have the chance to put it out of reach. Goodrich, the hot hand, works his way into the lane, tries to find Papagiannis with the bounce. It's deflected. Monaco get the steal. Mike James, who struggled all series, comes down the floor, wastes no time and gets those 3 points right back on the board for Monaco. With this ridiculous long-range fader. Just over 90 seconds to go, Kalafis, the veteran, finds himself in trouble and throws a careless pass. It's chaotic, bodies hit the deck, both teams scrambling for the ball. Monaco get possession, Okobo slows it down, gets to his spot and scores to put Monaco up 1. Final minute, here come Fenerbahce again, down 1. Scotty Wilbekin, without hesitation, uses the screen, pulls up off the dribble from the top of the key and banks it in. Fenerbahce up 2. Monaco come right back. Okobo quickly gets to the goal and scoops it up and in. There's now 45 seconds left. Does Scotty Wilbekin have another big shot in him? He's trying to get a look. Monaco defend well. Crowded by black jerseys in the lane. He tries to pass out, but Diallo is there. He steals it. Monaco have possession and a chance to win the game and book their place in the Final 4. Okobo, the hot hand down the stretch, waves off Mike James. He isolates, puts up a free for all the glory to make the Final 4. He misses, and to overtime we go. Start of overtime, Mike James, isolation, shows Okobo why he should have taken the final shot and puts Monaco up 3 with another clutch trifecta. Fast forward to 1 minute 30, Wilbekin misses a free, 90 seconds remain, Diallo attacks, goes for the reverse, misses, but basket interference. Papagiannis made contact with the rim and 2 points are put on the board for Monaco. Up 3, it's now or never for Fenerbahce, and look who comes up with the goods. Nick Kalafis from the corner ties the ball game at 77 points each with 1 minute remaining in overtime. That gave the Turkish club some belief. It's now or never. The MVP with the ball in his hands, shot clock winding down, Mike James, legacy on the line, meets the giant Papagiannis in the lane and floats it up over him and into the hoop. Monaco lead by 2. For Fenerbahce, a 2 will tie. Kalafis, the screener, backpedals to the 3-point line. Can't believe his luck. He's wide open for 3, and of course, Kalafis gives Fenerbahce the lead. 1 point game. Final shot of overtime. Mike James wants it. Okobo looks him off. Any basket will win it for Monaco. Okobo drives, loses possession of the ball. Time's running out. Bodies hit the floor. The refs call a jump ball with 2.5 seconds left. Monaco down 1, huge size disadvantage at the jump ball, but Diallo gets a touch on it and the ball ricochets loose. Fenerbahce are first to the loose ball and it's over. History is made. Fenerbahce become just one of 2 teams in EuroLeague history to win a Game 5 on the road. The other was Olympiacos against Barcelona that we just talked about. Absolute heartbreak for Mike James. He led all scorers in this game with 20 points. It wasn't enough, and his historic season, and possibly his time at Monaco, is over. Still, no championship for Mike James, and Fenerbahce progressed to the Final 4. Nick Kalafis, who isn't even a great 3-point shooter, hit 2 huge ones when it mattered most. What a game, and what a series. Now this last series represents what EuroLeague is all about. 2 historically great franchises with the craziest fan bases. Maccabi Tel Aviv and Panathinaikos, 2 of the most successful EuroLeague clubs, neither of whom have won a title in the last decade. For both clubs, it would mean everything to get back to the Final 4. Panathinaikos have a stacked team and a lot of familiar faces. Kendrick Nunn is a star. Kostas Antetokounmpo is a solid role player. Juancho Hernan Gomez, aka Bo Cruz from Hustle, the finals MVP of Eurobasket, he's on the team. If you watched March Madness, you'll remember Kyle Guy from Virginia, Final Four's most outstanding player. For EuroLeague fans, you'll also know Kostas Sloukas, the most hated man in Greek basketball who betrayed Olympiacos to join them last summer. And they've also got Mateusz Lazor, who was first team All EuroLeague last season. Maccabi have great guard play with Lorenzo Brown, Wade Baldwin Jr., two former NBA players. They also have a dominant player inside in Josh Nebo. But Maccabi are not to be underestimated. They made a statement in the play-in tournament with a massive blowout win against Baskonia, and have proved that regular season standings count for nothing in the playoffs. In other leagues, when number 2 seeds play a play-in team, it's going to be a blowout and a sweep. In the EuroLeague, that can go all 5 games, and in this series, it did. Game 1 was a back and forth matchup, all about offense. Panathinaikos at home were the favourites, and after a close first quarter, this huge slam from Mateusz Lazor got the arena bouncing.
For this game 1 on the road, Mike Batiste, Panathinaikos legend, Mateusz Lazor looking to write his own legend.
And this gave Panathinaikos momentum going into the second half, and they had a 9-point lead at halftime. But Maccabi came storming back in the fourth quarter, and with this three-pointer with 9 minutes to go, tied the game at 91. A few minutes later, Bonzi Colson again hits another free ball to give Maccabi the lead. 1 minute 40 left in the game. Tamir Blatt
on the bounce, up high, Josh Nebo taking flight.
That should have been game, but no. Panathinaikos answered back with a much needed free ball. More late game drama. Colson in the post gets ripped. Slukas out in transition, finds none. He goes up to tie it up, is fouled, sent to the line and makes both his free throws. 53 seconds remain, score tied at 87. Lorenzo Brown on the bounce, rises up over Kendrick Nunn and banks it in to give Maccabi the lead. Final possession of the game, ball in Slukas' hands. Mr. Crunch Time, one of the greatest closers in EuroLeague history, uncharacteristically dribbles around the entire shot clock looking for something, finds nothing, turns it over, and Maccabi Tel Aviv steal game 1. Their backcourt stepped up. Lorenzo Brown and Wade Baldwin Jr. combined for 31 points, and Bonzi Colson came up big too. He had 18 and made 3 of 4 3-pointers. For Panathinaikos, Kendrick Nunn had a quiet game, just 8 points in 20 minutes. He could have done more. Mateusz Lazor, he was great, 22 points on 9 of 11 shooting. That went to waste. Game 2 still at home, Panathinaikos needed to bounce back, and they did in style. Kostas Slukas redeemed himself, 29 points on 12 of 16 shooting. He had 4 assists and 3 rebounds and was in complete control of the ball game from start to finish. Panathinaikos took the lead early on, handled business, and didn't give Maccabi the chance to get back into the game. Series tied 1-1, and game 3 was probably the craziest of the series, because this game not only went down to the wire, but it ended in controversy. Maccabi were in control this game. They led by double digits and were playing great basketball. But this time, it was Panathinaikos who made a late run, and it got uncomfortable for the hosts in the fourth quarter. At one point in the game, they led by 18, up double digits going into the fourth. It should have been a done deal. And then, big shot after big shot after big shot. For Panathinaikos, Kendrick Nunn was in his bag. He hit this sidestep 3 to make it a 4-point game. Maccabi started to panic, carelessly turning it over. Kendrick Nunn drives baseline, looks to reverse, misses, but Mateusz Lazor is there to clean up. 8-0 Panathinaikos run in the space of 90 seconds, and all of a sudden, it's a 2-point game. Colson gives Maccabi some breathing room, makes a floater to put their team back up 4, but Kendrick Nunn, running on fumes, nails a free ball early in the shot clock to make it a 1-point game. Maccabi turn it over again. Slukas in transition, looks for the lob with Lazor. Foul. He goes to the line, makes the first, and fortunately for Maccabi, he misses the second to give Panathinaikos the lead. 20 seconds left. Lorenzo Brown isolates, drives, misses, but the refs call goaltending. Basket interference. 2 points on the board for Tel Aviv. Wait, the refs review it, take the points away, and call for a jump ball at the circle. 15 seconds left. Score tied, 83 points apiece. Nebo wins the tip. Brown gets another chance to win it, and he's fouled on the perimeter. They get the ball back at the side for a do-over. Lorenzo Brown, third time lucky, is fouled in the act of shooting, goes to the line, knocks down both the free throws. 1.8 seconds left. Timeout Panathinaikos. They advance the ball, inbound it to the hot hand Kendrick Nunn, puts up a free ball for the win.
Kendrick Nunn beats the end of quarter buzzer.
Misses. Maccabi survived the late comeback and Panathinaikos are angry. Every decision down the stretch went against them. They even appealed the final result, asking for a replay. But it didn't matter because Maccabi, after 3 games, led the series 2-1. The ending and late push from Kendrick Nunn, who had 25 points, kind of overshadowed the best player in this game, which was Josh Nebo from Maccabi. He was outstanding. 22 points on 10 of 13 shooting, 9 rebounds. The 2-man game between him and Brown was excellent. He had 16 points and 8 assists too. Slukas though, disappointing performance. 0 points. Game 4, everything was on the line. If Panathinaikos lost, their season was over. They needed to win on the road in Tel Aviv and beat Maccabi once again. This game was close. Maccabi were about to go into halftime up 4, but Kendrick Nunn from deep made it a 1-point game and gave Panathinaikos some hope and belief going into the second half. But as the game went on, they were in real trouble, and with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Panathinaikos in an elimination game found themselves down 7 on the road. The Greens need a basket here. Slukas pick and roll with Lazor, goes for the layup and is swatted away by Josh Nebo. Long rebound, Panathinaikos, corner 3 at the end of the shot clock is good, and the lead is cut to 4. Never needed more. On the road, this is when Panathinaikos backcourt took over. Lazor is fighting for loose balls, kicks it to Kendrick Nunn, wide open, nails the triple. Again, Nunn stops on the drive, drops his defender and gets the friendly bounce on a mid-range. It's a 3-point game. Kendrick Nunn pick and roll, Lazor dunk. They're closing the gap, but Maccabi won't go away. Now with 2 minutes to go, Kendrick Nunn again, mid-range jumper, keeping Panathinaikos' season alive. And this is when Maccabi went cold. They scored 0 points in the final 3 minutes of regulation. Panathinaikos were able to get to the free throw line, get points on the board, and in the end comfortably won 95-88. The scoreline doesn't do it justice. Panathinaikos were in real trouble, and to be honest, Maccabi choked. And it wasn't the only time in this series. Take nothing away from Panathinaikos' defense. They got stops consistently, but there's no excuse at home with the talent they have for Maccabi not to end this series there and there. Panathinaikos backcourt saved the day. Kendrick Nunn had 27, Slukas had 20 points, 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Another big game for Lazor, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 blocks. And with game 5 back at home, of the 2 teams, Panathinaikos were the ones feeling most confident. Game 5 was absolutely electric. Panathinaikos fans had the arena vibrating an hour before tip-off. The fans did everything they could to uplift their team. A spot in Berlin awaited the winners. All the odds were stacked against Maccabi. No away team had ever won a Game 5 before. They were looking to make history, and when stuff like this happened in the game, they started to believe it was meant to be.
Cleveland. Oh, Antonius Cleveland! Oh my goodness!
Slukas kept Panathinaikos in the game early on with 12 points in the first half. Panathinaikos were playing great defense. Lazor swats this one away, and even Kendrick Nunn was down low in the paint blocking shots. A lot of players stepped up in this game, but it was all about Kendrick Nunn. He'd already been heating up in the third with a couple free balls, and in the fourth quarter, he activated takeover. The 3-pointer from the left side got him going with 7 to go. Then after 3 minutes without a field goal for Panathinaikos, Kendrick Nunn pulls up off the dribble and hits another to put the boys in green up 9. The next play, he weaves through Maccabi's defense and puts it up and in off the window. He would not let Maccabi make up any ground, and with 1 minute to go in the game, up 9, Kendrick Nunn sidestep 3-pointer, the dagger, to put an end to the series and send Panathinaikos back to the Final Four for the first time in 12 years. The arena erupts. Fans swarmed onto the court in the thousands. You will not see anything like this anywhere else in the world. Look how much it means to them. And some people will have the cheek to say Europeans don't like basketball. Kendrick Nunn is the hero. He takes Panathinaikos back to the biggest stage in European basketball. He scored 27 points, 13 of which came in the fourth quarter. And in Berlin, he will have the opportunity to match the legacy of Dominique Wilkins, who many years ago came to Greece and brought a championship to Athens in these same historic colours. Panathinaikos will play Fenerbahce in the final. You don't want to miss that. The EuroLeague Final Four is set. No playoff series, It's a one-off knockout game, March Madness style. Win, you go to the championship game. Lose, your season is over. We have some great games of basketball ahead and you don't want to miss them. So if you want to watch these EuroLeague games, click the link down below in the description, join my room over at Playback TV and we will watch them together. What a year it's been for EuroLeague. The regular season was competitive as ever, the playoffs were breathtaking, and the final four isn't going to disappoint either. And let's just end the video right now. I've got nothing else to talk about.